Hare Krishna. Let us understand Bhagavad Gita as it is, written by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. So let us understand these chapters section by section. Before we begin the discussion, let us offer our prayers to our spiritual master, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada and Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we will be understanding the second section of the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Second section is from Shloka number 11 to Shloka number 15. This section is entitled The Deluded and the Non-Deluded Souls. So let us understand this section. In the previous section, Lord Krishna had described how He is the basis of the entire cosmic existence. Everything rests on Krishna's energies. Even though Krishna is personally there in His spiritual abode, everything that is in this cosmic creation is resting on Krishna's energies. So Krishna describes that there are certain categories of people who deride Krishna when He appears in this world as a human being. So Krishna says, Avajananti mam modha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature and my supreme dominion over all that be. So those who are ignorant about Lord Krishna, they think that Krishna is also one of the human beings. Actually, Krishna is not a human being. He appears in the human society to re-establish religious principles, to set an example, to show the path of perfection to the human society. He is not a human being. He appears in a form resembling human being. Originally, human beings are made resembling Krishna's form. Originally, God is having the form like human being. Krishna is transcendental. He is not having a material form like us. His body is Satchidananda. His body is eternal, full of knowledge and blissful. But those who are ignorant about Krishna, they think that He is also a human being. So Krishna is describing them as foolish person. Why? Because Krishna says, Avajananti mam modha manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajanantaha. They don't understand Krishna's param bhava. They don't understand Krishna's transcendental nature. If Krishna was an ordinary human being, how could He perform so many wonderful activities right from the beginning of His birth? When Krishna appeared in front of Vasudeva and Devaki, He appeared in His four-handed form, fully decorated with all the gems and jewels and with nice clothes. Fully decorated Krishna appeared, and then He transformed Himself into a baby form. And then He ordered Vasudeva to shift him to Gokula. So how can an ordinary baby appear fully decorated and then transform? So these are all not ordinary things. Krishna is a spiritual Supreme Lord, Krishna is not an ordinary human being. And when he showed his universal form to Arjuna, Arjuna asked him to show him the 400 form. So Krishna showed his 400 form also. Finally, Krishna showed his 200 form. Krishna performed various wonderful activities. When he was just 7 years old, he lifted Govardhan hill on his little finger of his left hand for 7 continuous days. The ordinary human being cannot do such activities. He showed the entire universe within the mouth to his mother Yashoda. So these are all wonderful, extraordinary activities which only a Supreme Person, the Supreme Lord only can do. And those who are ignorant about Krishna, they think that he is also a human being. So Krishna is telling that such people are deluded. They don't understand Krishna's transcendental nature and they are foolish. So Krishna is telling, Param Bhavam Ajanantaha Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. Krishna is the Ishvara, he is the Lord of everything. He can award liberation to anyone he likes. He is the Lord of the entire cosmic existence. He is controlling everything and he is also within the atom. So how it is inconceivable for an ordinary man to understand how a person like Krishna can be controlling every atom and at the same time controlling gigantic universes. So Krishna is simultaneously existing everywhere through his energies and is in full control of everything. So this is very, very inconceivable for people to understand. Only devotees can understand Krishna because they have taken shelter of him. So those who are foolish, they cannot understand Krishna. So Krishna further says, Moghasha mogha karmano mogha jnana vichetasaha rakshasi masurim chaiva prakritim mohinim shrita. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demoniac and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. So there are some people who want to achieve liberation, but at heart they don't believe in Krishna. So Krishna says such people can never achieve perfection, they will never get liberation, they will never enter into the spiritual world. And there are some people who perform various pious activities and then they want liberation. But at heart they don't believe in Krishna, they don't like Krishna. Even such people will not achieve perfection in life. And then there are some people who think that we are also God. Presently we are in this material body. When this body gets destroyed, they will also become equal to God, they are also God. So all these kind of people, Krishna says, they are all bewildered and they will never achieve perfection in their lives. So further, Krishna describes about the symptoms of great souls, those who are not deluded. Krishna says, Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashrita bhajanti ananya manaso jnatva bhutadim avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of my divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Here Krishna is telling there are souls who understand Krishna as the Supreme and they continuously engage in worshipping Krishna, in glorifying Krishna. They are actually personalists. Those who are impersonalists, Krishna doesn't call impersonalist as a great soul or Mahatma. Only those who believe God as a person, those who believe Krishna as the Supreme Person, as the Supreme Lord, such souls Krishna is telling they are all Mahatmas. They are great souls. And these great souls, they are under the divine energy. They have taken shelter of divine energy. They are beyond the control of material energy. When a person surrenders to Krishna, he comes under the shelter of divine nature and then he continuously engages in serving Krishna. This Krishna is cleared in the Bhagavad Gita that those who surrender unto him, Daivi Hiesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mamevaye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. Krishna says that this material nature, which is made of three modes of nature, it is very, very difficult to overcome. But Mamevaye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. Those who surrender to Krishna, they can easily cross over this material energy. So those who cross over this material energy, they are actually under the shelter of internal energy of Krishna. Without taking shelter of internal energy, one cannot get liberated from the external energy, which is the material energy. As living beings, we are marginal energy. We can either be under the shelter of external energy, which is material nature, or we can be under the shelter of internal energy, who is none other than Srimati Radharani. So, if we take shelter of Srimati Radharani, we get liberated from the external energy. So, by taking shelter of Srimati Radharani, under the expert guidance of a spiritual master, if we learn how to serve Krishna, then we become free from the influence of material energy. So, under the shelter of an expert spiritual master who is a Mahatma, we can also become Mahatma. So, we cannot become Mahatma all of a sudden without the expert guidance, without taking shelter of a spiritual master and following his instructions sincerely and seriously. We cannot achieve perfection in life. So in Kali Yuga, we have to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We have to worship Lord Krishna in the association of sincere devotees. We have to sing, glorify, hear about Krishna from authorized scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Worship the deity forms of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna under the guidance of a spiritual master, and hear about Krishna from the Vedic scriptures. In this way, we have to follow the rules and regulations given in the Vedic scriptures as guided by a spiritual master, and we can advance in spiritual life and we can also become Mahatma. So further, Krishna describes the symptoms of Mahatma. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dhadavrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. So here clearly Krishna is giving the symptoms of Mahatmas. They are always glorifying Krishna. If God is not a person, how can we glorify him? God has to be a person. He is Lord Krishna. So great souls, the Mahatmas, they always chant Krishna's holy names. They describe Krishna's pastimes, his beauty, his various transcendental qualities, his name, fame, his spiritual abode. There is so much to glorify. So great souls are always engaged in glorifying Krishna. Those who are impersonalists, they are not at all, they are not called as Mahatmas anywhere in the scriptures. And no one can become Mahatma without having taken shelter of Supreme Lord Krishna. Unless one becomes a pure devotee of Krishna, he cannot be called Mahatma. People who are ignorant, they call some ordinary human being or a great politician as Mahatma. That is nowhere described in scriptures as a Mahatma. One who takes shelter of Krishna under the guidance of a pure devotee and strictly follows the instructions of Guru, and he also advances spiritually, he is a Mahatma. Everyone can become Mahatma under the guidance of a pure devotee. So, in this way we have to learn to distinguish between true Mahatma and a Duratma. Those who are non-devotees, those who are atheistic people, those who don't believe in God, those who say that we are all God or God is impersonal, they are all called Duratmas because they hate God. They don't like the personality of Godhead. But on the other hand, pure devotees of Krishna, they love Krishna, they surrender to Krishna, they re-establish their loving relationship with Krishna, and they enjoy with Krishna by serving him. This is the difference between Mahatmas and Duratmas. Further, Krishna describes one more category of souls who are actually not Mahatmas, but they are also trying to worship something. So Krishna says, Jnana yajnena chapyanye yajanto mamupasate ekatvena pruthatvena bahuda vishvato mukham. Others who are engaged in the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme as one without a second, diverse in many, and in the universal form. Those who are not Mahatmas but who are pious in nature, that's already described that there are four kinds of people who take shelter of Krishna. Artho, Artharthi, Jnani and Jignasu. Those who are in difficulties, they take shelter of Krishna to solve their problems. They are called Artho. Artharthi, those who desire wealth, they go and take shelter of Krishna. And those who are Jignasu, those who want to know about God, they take shelter of Krishna. And Jnanis, those who already know about spirituality, they also take shelter of Krishna. So in this way, there are four categories of people who are pious, Sukritinaha, and they go to Krishna. And they, by going to Krishna, they also become pure devotees. There are other three categories which Krishna is mentioning here. One category is those who worship themselves as God. They are one category. The second category is there are some people who concoct some form of God and worship that form as God. They believe in all the devatas or any devata they choose and they worship that devata as God. And the third category is those who cannot think beyond this material creation. They worship the universal form as God. They are the third category. Among the three, the lowest is those who worship themselves of God. They are generally the impersonalists. At least these people, they can distinguish themselves as not this material body and there's something beyond this material body. That sense of understanding they are having. So next Krishna will describe about his own glories. We will understand in the next section. Hare Krishna.